best he can because he's trying so hard to see, but we think his left eye is actually blind. Also, his left wing got hurt when he got hit, and his left hip, okay? But they took him to Oak Mountain. Have y'all ever heard of Oak Mountain?
Yes.
They help birds like this that are native, that are from Alabama. They help these birds feel better. They might fix some bones, make them feel better, and then some of them can be returned to the wild, but he cannot because he cannot fly anymore. Okay? Yeah, it's sad, but now we can use them for education, and so you guys can see him up close.
Why did you do it? Oh yeah, it's nice. Oh yeah, it's big.
He's kind of small though. With pine trees. Okay? Pine tree bark, the outside, is a little reddish color. So they really like pine trees, but they can pretty much nest in any of the trees. And what will happen is the girl owl will make the nest, and then the boy owl, the male, will have to find a really awesome present for her. What do you think he might bring her? What do you think?
Worms.
Worms, yeah, maybe a nice fat worm, maybe a nice fat mouse, and he'll give it to her, and if she likes it, she'll say, hey, yeah, come share my nest with me, and then they'll live way up high in that tree. Okay? Now, I told you earlier they are birds of prey, so they actually eat meat, okay? So he might eat worms, he might eat mice. What else do you think he might eat?
Bugs.
Bugs, maybe some bugs.
Bats.
Bats, ooh, maybe a small bat. They're just trying to eat their food and leave you guys alone, hopefully. So you should never try to touch a snake in the wild, okay? We're just using him because he's one of our education snakes. He's used to it. So this is Ruffy. He is a speckled, so that means kind of like polka dotted. He's a speckled king snake. Can y'all say king snake?
King snake.
So they get his name because he's like the king of the forest almost, especially in the snake world. He can eat other snakes. So he is the king of the snakes because he can eat any snake he wants, even if that snake is venomous. Y'all know what venomous means? What does venomous mean?
It means like poison.
Right. So a venomous snake, when they eat, they would bite something, and that poison would come out of their mouth, out of like fangs almost, and that's how they would kill their prey, or that's how they would protect themselves. Snakes that are non-venomous, like the king snake, they typically just bite their prey, and then they actually constrict them.
What is that?
Constrict means they squeeze, they wrap their body around.
Oh, yeah, like a boa constrictor.
Like a boa constrictor, yeah. But we don't have boa constrictors here in Alabama. But these guys, the king snakes, they're native to Alabama. That means they're from Alabama. So they are constrictors as well. But he can eat a venomous snake. So even though he is not venomous, he doesn't have poison in him, he is immune to a venomous snake's poison. So it doesn't affect him, it doesn't hurt him. So these are really good snakes to have around because they can actually eat the dangerous snakes that we have, like the copperheads and the rattlesnakes and the water moccasins. Those are all venomous. So king snakes can eat the venomous ones. The dangerous snakes, also snakes in general are good to have around because they do eat all the mice. So if we didn't have snakes in the woods and the forest, there'd be mice running around everywhere. And actually mice carry diseases. So they'd be kind of dangerous for us to go out in the woods. So snakes are really important to have around as predators. So are birds of prey like owls. I'm going to come around and I want y'all to, yeah, it's like a similar material. And actually their scales, do they stay on their bodies the whole time?
No.
What do they have to do when they grow? What do they do?
Like mold skin, or scales.
Yeah, so reptiles either molt or they shed, right? And so Ruffy, when he grows, and he grows a lot because he's still a little teenager, so he's still growing, so he'll shed pretty often, after he eats, might shed. I think he's up to like once every couple months. And his eyes will actually turn cloudy, maybe purplish. He'll go blind. And then he knows, I'm ready to shed. So then he might crawl underneath a rock or a log, and he'll rub up against something rough, and then he'll kind of start scratching his scales off. And have you guys ever like stuck your hand in a sock and pulled it inside out?
Yes.
That's how snakes shed. So anytime you find snake skin, it's always going to be inside out. So then he'll shed his skin, and his eyes might clear up after that, and then he'll do the same in a couple months. Yes, what's your question?
Does he go eats other snakes?
Does he make a noise?
No, just.
He bites them first, and then he'll constrict them.
Does he just bite them and scratch them sometimes?
Sometimes, but they can pretty much, when they bite something, that whatever they bit is not moving. They got a good hold on it. Yes.
Does he have any kind of bones?
He does. You know how we were feeling our vertebrae, our backbone earlier? He's got over like 200 of those little vertebrae in his spine. So his whole body is one big muscle. Y'all know like your tongue is like a muscle? And you're not squishy and strong? His body's kind of like one big muscle of tongue. So he doesn't have any arms or legs, but he can use his strong muscle to wrap around things in order to support himself.
Has he been hurt before?
No, he has not been hurt. He was born in captivity, so he's never been in the wild before. What does he feel like?
Something like a lizard.
Like a lizard. Yes, what's your question? Snake skin? You found a snake or snake skin? Yeah, that means you probably have a snake around. Yes.
One time I saw a snake, my dad moved it, and then it came back, and then we kept on moving it, but it kept on coming back.
Yeah, snakes will pretty much stay in the place where they're getting a lot of food. So that means he probably found a good food source near wherever he was. That's nice though that your dad tried to just move it instead of kill it, because we don't really want to kill these guys. They're not trying to hurt us. They're just trying to
But it
live.
wasn't one of those, but my dad killed it because it wouldn't go away, but it wasn't one of those.
Oh. Yes, what's your question?
But how? I have a question. They started taking the shells.
They can eat small rabbits. Like he would eat a really baby one, but a big snake could eat a rabbit.
And my family, no, you haven't. It was
Yeah? Yes, what's your question? This is like a domesticated rabbit. So he was actually someone's pet, and he is shedding a lot right now. So as I bring him around, you all can pet him. You can use 2 fingers like you did for the snake. And just pet his back, okay? You don't need to touch his head or anything. And you can feel how soft his fur is. And his fur helps keep him warm in the winter, but right now, it's kind of getting rid of all that extra fur. Very sweet. Okay. I'm trying to get all the fur off before I pull him up. He's got very large back legs too, and that helps him hop around. He's softer than, in my opinion, a dog or a cat. So, rabbits, of course, they eat carrots, right? He also eats lots of other vegetables. He'll eat sweet potatoes. He'll eat broccoli. He'll eat cauliflower. He'll eat cucumbers, squash. He'll also eat fruit. His favorite is fruit. So he'll eat strawberries, bananas. He doesn't really like blueberries. Just other little types of fruit. He can't eat too much fruit because it has a lot of sugar in it. But his main diet, about a cup of kale.
What's that?
It's kind of like lettuce. So he'll eat lettuce or kale or spinach. And then he'll also eat some rabbit pellets that have a lot of nutrition. He'll also eat, have y'all ever seen hay before? Like what horses eat and stuff? He eats as much hay, it's called Timothy hay. He eats as much as that as he wants. So hay's really good for his diet. I'm going to teach y'all a gross fact of the day. Rabbits, well, I'll tell y'all a couple things. They're kind of hard pets to have because they poop a lot. And you have to change their litter box every day. And also, after they eat all that hay, they kind of re-eat it. They eat their own poop.